Hey everyone, welcome to my first ever long video. If you came over from my shorts, thanks so much for being here. My name is Jade and I mostly share videos about motherhood and just me and my little girl and like that sort of vibe. She's 11 months old now and she's doing great. I thought the best way to start making longer videos was to share the story of how she came into the world. I honestly thought I knew exactly how my labour was going to go, but it couldn't have been any further from that. I literally had a birth plan and everything and none of it went to plan. So anyways, this is the story of how I ended up needing an emergency C-section. So basically it was 2 days before my due date. I was having pains all night and I wasn't sure if it was contractions or not, because you know the way when you have contractions it's like they're like a certain amount of minutes apart and they're all regular and they only last like 1 minute. Now I gave birth 11 months ago, so I can't remember the exact numbers here, but I was feeling pains like all throughout the night and they were long lasting and they weren't really going away. Like they'd go away for a few minutes but they'd last like 10-20 minutes, probably even longer than that, just cramps. Like it felt kind of like period cramps, so I didn't think I was in labour. So anyways, I go to sleep not thinking anything of it. The pains kept me up like for a little while, but I did eventually go to sleep. So again, I didn't think I was in labour. Like how can you sleep in labour? But I thought anyways. So I woke up the next morning and I was still having the pains. They were a little bit worse, so I rang my boyfriend at the time. That's a story for another day. Anyways, where was I? So I rang him and I told him I think I might be in labour but I'm not sure, and he was like, alright, I'll get everything packed, this, that and the other, get ready to go to the hospital. And I was like, no, it's okay, I don't think I'm actually in labour, I'll let you know if I know I definitely am. And then about 10 minutes later my water broke and I was like, right, this is labour. So I rang him and told him to come down to me. I went into the toilet and then I noticed that the waters were green, and that is like a very, very bad sign. And I knew it was, so I rang the hospital straight away and told them, and they were like coming immediately, because that basically means that the baby like pooped inside you and it's very dangerous because they can aspirate it and possibly die, and like the mother can also possibly die like from an infection. So like I had to get in there fast. Luckily the hospital is literally only around the corner from me, so I got there like within 20 minutes I'd say, by the time I got all my stuff ready and all. And as I'm getting out of the car, I was in my granddad's car, he dropped me there. As I get out of the car, I felt my waters breaking again. I was like, oh my god. The second I stood out of the car, waters broke everywhere, all over the car park. I was literally so embarrassed, but like whatever, I'm in a maternity hospital, it happens to everyone. So when I got into the hospital, they basically seen me straight away. Like I literally walked into the waiting room and they called me back out. I was like, okay. And they done like the cervical exam. That was probably the worst part of the whole experience. Like no, it wasn't, you know what, we'll get there in a minute. So they done the cervical exam. I was only 1 centimetre. Then when they monitored the baby's heart rate was going pretty fast and so was mine. So they were like, you're probably going to need a C-section. And I was like, oh no, like this is not what I wanted. I really don't want to get cut open right now. But anyways, it had to happen. So before I knew it, they were like stripping me, taking me clothes off. I'm still in like the emergency department part. They're taking me clothes off, they're putting me in a little gown, and then they're wheeling me up to get a C-section. This all happened in the space of like 5 or 10 minutes. I was like, how is this actually happening so fast? So I'm literally like on my way up texting all my friends and texting me mum and all, and I'm like, I have to get a C-section now. This baby's gonna be born right now, I'm gonna get a C-section. Oh my god, I better not die. I was like literally like so scared. So I get in there and it's just like a big huge room. There's literally, I'm not even exaggerating, there's at least like 10, not doctors obviously, but like doctors, nurses, medical staff team, whatever it's called, baby doctors and all. There's just like a whole load of people in here just to do like 1 C-section. I'm like, oh my god, this is like actually more serious than I thought it was. So then they give me the epidural and they're like, okay, we have to put a catheter in. When I tell you, that is my worst fear, one of my worst fears, getting one of those things inside. No, I can't. I was like, no. I got the epidural anyway, so they were like, you won't even feel it. I felt it. It was actually nowhere near as bad as I thought it was. Gonna be, but I felt it. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I actually feel like it went pretty quickly, but apparently I was lying there for like an hour and I just felt so itchy. My face was so itchy and my neck, and like, oh no, it was so bad and my whole body was just shaking. I was like, is this my nerves? Am I scared? What is going on? I wasn't cold, but I literally was shaking like it was freezing. that's normal apparently. I don't know, the adrenaline or whatever. So after lying there for an hour, however long it was, she was finally born. I literally like felt them pulling her out. I don't know how to even explain it. It was like, it didn't hurt or anything, but I just like felt it. It was so weird. And then I just heard her cry, and I was like, oh thank God. I was like about to cry, but I couldn't even, because I didn't even know what was going on. Like I was like, I barely even acknowledged that she was born, because it was just so like shocking. And they just brought her over straight away, and they were checking her out, and her oxygen was a little bit low. So I didn't even get to have her with me. They told me that I had to wait in there for either a half an hour or an hour, I'm not sure, just like to make sure that everything was okay, and then they bring me to a recovery room. And actually on the way to the recovery room, I'm only after having like a traumatic life event just happen. Like the nurse, midwife, whatever, had the neck to ask me, was I taking drugs before I came in here because the baby was rattling or something like that. Turns out our blood sugars were low. And this midwife asked me twice. After I said no, she was like, are you sure? Like, yeah, I'm sure I didn't take drugs before I came in to have my baby. So when I got into the recovery room, I was expecting the baby to be there, but she wasn't. It was just my boyfriend waiting there for me. So I sat there for a while. The midwives will come in and be like, yeah, the baby will be up with you when you go up to the ward. I got up to the ward. Do you think my baby comes into me? No. And I'm literally just like sitting there. I can't walk because I'm not having an epidural, what I really did not want to do, but obviously I needed it. Like I just got cut open, I can't do that without an epidural. So I couldn't even leave the bed to go and see my baby in the NICU. I had to just be stuck in a bed like for hours and hours and hours. So my mom and like the baby's dad, they got to see her. I didn't get to see her, but they got to see her anyways. And then later that night, when I kind of got the feeling back on my legs, I was like, I want to see my baby. So the midwife brought me up. I got up, struggled into a wheelchair, and she brought me up to see her. I mean, she literally brought me in for like maybe a minute and then brought me back down. I was like, that's great. Couldn't even see her because she was in like an incubator. Now, I forgot to say this, she was like 9 pounds 10 ounces when she was born, so she was like the biggest baby in the NICU, and she was like taking up the whole incubator. But she was fine anyways. Like she just, her oxygen was just slightly low. She did end up having a bit of jaundice, but like she was fine. But like postpartum and all, when you see a baby like that, it's like heartbreaking. So I was really sad that I couldn't have her with me. So she brought me back to the room anyways, and I tried to sleep. It was very hard to do because I started feeling like the pain and the scar from my C-section, and when I tell you this is painful, I could not sit up, I couldn't lie down, I couldn't do anything that was using like these muscles. It was, oh no, it was awful. I eventually got some sort of sleep, but I was itching like crazy all night. Like I could not stop scratching. Like I literally like scraped my leg open. Like it was, I drew blood from scratching my leg that much. And I woke up the next morning after being promised my baby would be with me the next morning. Forgot to mention that part. And no baby. I was told maybe later. I got up, tried to drag myself into a shower. I could still barely walk. Oh my god, no. Before I got in the shower, they had to take out the catheter, and I tell you, that was the most terrifying, that was the most terrifying part of this whole experience. I know it shouldn't be, but it was. Showering was pretty scary as well, not gonna lie. Do you know what, I think like every normal thing that a person should be able to do, like shower, walk, sit down, sit up, go to the toilet, it's very scary after having a C-section, and not easy. And then when a midwife came into me, I asked her, I was like, when am I going to get my baby? And she was like, well, her oxygen is still a bit low, this, that and the other. She has jaundice now. So I had to just find the strength to be able to actually walk up myself. Like this took me ages, like the little steps I was taking trying to walk, oh my god, it was so hard. But I did it, and I got up there. I just felt so bad seeing her in the little incubator, and she had like wires and all like attached to her, so I couldn't even take her out and hold her or anything. And one of the baby like nurses were like, do you want to change your nappy? I was like, how? Like if you've seen one of these incubators, there's like the whole like little thing, and then there's like 2 little holes on the side, and it's like, how do I couldn't even bend over. Like trying to change her nappy, like when I was like bent over slightly, the pain in my back was unbelievable. Like I still get these back pains from to this day. I don't know if it's over the C-section or the epidural, but it's probably like a bit of both. But oh my god, back pain is real after having a baby. And this literally went on for days. I was like, will I have my baby with me today? And they were like, yeah, you'll have her later today. Oh, you'll have her tonight. Oh, you'll have her in the morning. Went on for like 4 days until like the 4th day. Then on the 4th night, they finally decide that I can have her. I mean, I know it's not like up to them, like our oxygen was low and all that. But in my mindset at the time, like literally like newly postpartum, like crazy brain, I honestly thought like that they just didn't want me to have her, and like they were just keeping her from me and all this. Oh my god, like when I think back now, it's like, are you crazy? Like, you think the hospital staff are trying to keep your baby from you? Like, hardly. So I got her back that night, and it was freezing. They had the windows wide open and it was so cold, and I had her wrapped up and stuff. But I actually find this was the first night I was actually able to sleep because I had her with me. And they came in during the night to like do our little checks and stuff, and our temperature was low. Of course the temperature was low. You have all the windows open in the hospital. I was cold. I woke up as well and it was freezing, and the baby was gone, and I was like, where's my child? And they had to bring her back into like with the baby nurses trying to get her temperature back. So that was a nightmare. I was up like I don't even know what time in the morning, like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was in there with her trying to like breastfeed her and all this, and oh, that's a whole nother story. I really didn't get her properly until the 5th day, and that was my last day in the hospital. And they were taking so long to get paperwork and stuff ready so that I could go home, and then it was like 6 p.m. or something like that, and they were like, you can stay overnight, we don't want to send you home in the middle of the night. I was like, get me out of here now before you take my baby away again. Like, no, I'm not staying here one more night. I was out of here. No, it was honestly such a relief to just have her home with me and just be able to bond with her and cuddle her and just do what I wanted with her, and like not just be in a big horrible hospital environment, like getting woken up at all parts of the night and getting no sleep. But looking back at this experience now, I honestly wouldn't change it for the world. Like, I would do that 10 times over just to have her here in this world with me. She's honestly just a gift from God. Like, she is the best baby like anyone could ever ask for, and I'm not just saying that because she's my child. She is literally just so good and so cute, and I don't think I could have gotten a better baby. Thank you so much for watching and listening to my story. If you've had a similar experience and your birth didn't go to plan, I'd love to hear it in the comments. And if you'd like to follow along with more videos about my life with motherhood and my beautiful little girl, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.